The Combat Boat 90 has been in the armed forces in Sweden for over 30 years, and now Saab has produced a new variant, this Combat Boat 90 HSM. That's what we're looking at today. My name is Max Villman. I'm a former fighter pilot in the Swedish Air Force, but I'm also a former commander of a Combat Boat 90 during my conscript time, so I have something to add there. So let's go. I will start by looking at this small clip from Saab, who owns Dockstavarvet, where CB90 is made. The Combat Boat 90.
My name is Andreas Nordstrand. I'm the technical director of Docksta Shipyard. I've also been the project manager for what is behind me, the CB90 HSM, where H stands for half platoon, S for ballistic protected, and M for modernized. And modernized it truly is.
Yeah, and as we see at this boat from the start, we see a few changes, minor details, but the two most obvious one is of course the weapon station. Before it was a station where a person had to stand in and have a machine gun or similar. Now it's an integrated, automated and operated from inside the boat weapon station. Also before we used to have machine guns placed in a box below here, but that has probably been replaced by this new weapon station. We see new antenna positions here and here, also some smaller details here on the outside. And H, half a platoon, halv platoon, S, splitterskydd in Swedish, which is ballistic protection. So 18 soldiers, combat equipped, is what they were made for in the beginning.
With this boat we have taken 30 years of user experience combined with what we have learned on the engineering side for 30 years. All in all, it adds up to a beautiful new product. So please, let me show you some of the features of this new boat. Starting in the bow, we have an emergency towing system where the towing lines are always attached and ready for emergency towing. Moving further back, we have antenna positions all the way in the front, meaning that we have distributed the antennas with the ideal position for each antenna throughout the entire boat. The wheelhouse windows has been optimized in terms of visibility from inside of the wheelhouse and of course ballistic protected. Coming to the center of the boat in the most ideal position with a 360-degree free field of view, the RWS foundation, where we have the strength and durability and stiffness of the foundation has been calculated, of course. In this case, we have the Saab Trackfire mounted on this boat.
Yeah, and obviously they can mount different types of turrets and other things here in this position. It's reinforced, like he said, and the Trackfire system, this one has a heavy machine gun, 12.7 millimeters, and a medium machine gun, 7.62 NATO. 308. So obviously this is a very potent machine. You have sensors here and it's operated from inside the boat. This is entirely new. The old one did not have anything like this. And my experience, I was a combat boat commander, both on the older version of this and also two other boat types during my conscript service. And if you like this video, do me a solid and like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps me reach more people that can be interested in this and doesn't cost you anything.
Coming to the middle deck, this whole area has been optimized around these gun mounts, these height adjustable gun mounts. We have the ammunition storage in the middle, we have the frames for ammunition boxes, and we have the cooling bed for cooling of hot barrels. Whole area optimized to be able to work around these gun mounts.
Yeah, so this is entirely new, lots of storage for ammunition. It's an improvement, of course, and the gun mounts as well, so you can place, it's also 3 in the back, so you can place lots of people with lots of weapons on the boat, which gives you ability to fire and protect yourself all around, which is an observer, of course, as well, which is, not, of course, a big step up from the old versions.
Here, as I mentioned earlier, we have distributed antennas throughout the boat. In this case, we have the foldable antennas for the CMS system. Coming to the aft deck, again here we have 3 gun mounts, same setup as on middle deck, height adjustable, optimized with a flat deck to be able to work in this area.
And the older versions, they have mine railings here, so you could lay mines with the boat, so they have been removed now, which I think many conscripts and soldiers will approve of, because that's what you tripped on when you were running back and forth all across the deck. Also new storage units here in the back, and of course, like you mentioned, the gun mounts. And below these we have the engines.
Looking in the back, we have another special feature for this boat. We have the levers for the self-cleaning seawater strainers, which is also a very nice feature of this boat. Under the hatches, we have two Scania 16-liter V8 engines connected to reverse drives with mixed flow water jets.
Water jet is what gave this boat the original very big maneuvering capabilities like crash top and so on. The older boats, the 200 boats that they replaced in the Swedish Navy, had normal propeller, and of course water jets don't stick down below the bottom of the boat, but unfortunately propellers do. So the first thing that happened in the Swedish archipelago coastline, where there's a lot of stones and rocks and so on, is where if you ran aground, you could damage the propellers and the drivetrain. And here you get a much less depth of the boat, and also if you hit something, it will probably be in the hull and not destroy your water jet system because it's not below the hull.
All in all, a very powerful and compact package, contributing to giving this boat superior performance.
You can obviously employ different kinds of engines to this boat. In Sweden we had 625 horsepower times 2 before, and now they have been midlife updated to 2 times 700 horsepower. And it's really big V8s, and of course you can fit other engines if you want.
And if you follow me, I'll show you the inside of the boat.
Usually around 40 knots speed with those engines. And here is the place for the soldiers. They sit down in these chairs here. And then you can have lots of equipment and storage in the middle, and there's obviously on the other side of the boat there's also places for the soldiers to sit. Like
so let's start in the back. We have the workstation for the remote weapon station operator. We also have the CMS officer. Both of them positioned in the most ideal position in the boat, in the back and facing forward, to be able to do a good job there. Here we have the CMS installation. Coming to bulkhead 9, here we have the foldable seat for the third seat in the wheelhouse.
So normally you have a navigator and the driver, so 2 persons driving the boat forward, but you can also use this seat to bring that seat forward here in the middle. Of course you would lose some of the space here, but it was the same in the older boat, and it makes so that, for example, another person can sit and get good SA. You can bring up the commander of the half platoon, so you can talk to him about timings, etc., whilst on the go, which of course is something to give them good SA here in the back.
And a screen to give a situation awareness for the soldiers in the transport room.
And this is some real improvement, because then they can see what happens here on the screen. You have quite limited visibility in the small windows, so this makes it so that of course you can basically know if you can have time to rest, or you need to prepare, or how much time is left, etc., etc. So this is a really good addition to these new boats.
Moving further to the wheelhouse, we have a completely redesigned wheelhouse, optimized to reduce the mental workload for the coxswain and the navigator, where we have switches and levers within reach, and a very good, nice wheelhouse. And here we have Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Moving forward in the boat, starting to come to the bow. Here we have a lot of storage area to keep all gear in order. And opening the deck hatches and the bow ramp. There you have the CB90 HSM.
Yeah, and here you see the capabilities of this boat. If you go up a beach or near to a dock, it's very easy to unload everyone. They just run through here, so it can be done very, very quickly. Improvement from the older boat is of course much better organization here. The older boats were commissioned 30 years ago, when of course computers had much bigger footprint than they have today, so now you can reduce that and also have more place for storage, etc.
And let's have a look at how we produce them.
With experience from production of close to 270 units, we've been able to fine-tune the production setup and flow. Passing a total of 6 assembly stations takes us from raw aluminium with the first station, including ballistic protection and surface finish of the inside, to test and verification in station 6. Experience tells us that after this verification program, the boat is more than ready to meet the hands of our very demanding customers. Top speed varies depending on engine selection, but regardless, the speed capability is way beyond 40 knots. Docksta CB90 HSM has been developed for great speed and maneuverability in shallow waters and narrow passages. It is used by navies in different climates and surroundings.
And if we take a quick look here, we have something about the older one, 90H, Combat Boat 90H. So that movie we looked about, the clip was just about the HSM, so it's not bought by the Swedish Armed Forces yet. They probably will, but nothing bought yet. Here you see the old in front of the coxswain where he can operate these machine guns. The Swedish police use them, US Navy. You see here when the first series were made. So some countries using them right now. The older was also a smaller one, 90E, which has been basically removed because it wasn't as good as this one. What should I tell you more about this? It's a very, very good boat. It's a very, very reliable boat and perfect for Swedish conditions. But let me know here in the comments if you want me to look at some other type of equipment, or if you have any comments about this video or questions. And until next time, please just give me a like, follow me on social media, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to buy me a coffee, then you have the link below. But that's all for now, so until next time, fly safe.